My name is Walter Benaziac. For months, I was trapped in the evil Dino Rob's Dino Dimension, a place where I was duplicated dozens of times. Eventually, I managed to escape, but now, Dino Rob is sending his army to take me back. With the help of my friends, we fight them off and hope to ultimately take down Mr. Rage Dinosaur. The more we count down, the weaker he gets. This is Top 5. Hey, have you guys seen my Batman hoodie?
Wow, green really is your color. Where'd you find the Green Lantern ring anyway?
I just took it off the Walter.
Hey, what's up? Hi, how are you doing?
So you guys made some changes while I was gone, huh?
Hey! Remember that awful Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds? I hated that movie so much.
Yeah, I did too.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. There are way worse DC movies. DC's cinematic history is spotty at best. They've had some amazing, game-changing films over the years, but it seems like for every Wonder Woman or Dark Knight, there's a Superman 4 or Jonah Hex. Last year, I counted down the worst Marvel movies, so it's only fair to look at DC's blunders as well. These are the top 5 worst DC movies.
Number 5. Green Lantern. In 2011, I was excited to see one of my favorite comic book heroes, Green Lantern, brought to the big screen. What I got was a CGI trash fest so bad that I threw my red ring of anger at the screen afterwards. The movie follows pilot Hal Jordan, who discovers a dying alien who gives him a ring. This ring is powered by the Green Light of Will and gives the wearer its powers. Hal must now become a part of the Green Lantern Corps and help save the universe. One of the main problems with this movie is its heavy reliance on CGI, which in and of itself is not a bad thing. But the CGI in this movie was so unforgivable. It was distracting. I understand what they were going for with the suits emitting and being made of energy, but it just fell so flat. Burnt bacon is the most apt description of these suits that I've heard. I know, buddy. It's painful. Something unique about the Green Lantern character in the comics is his ability to create constructs of whatever he can imagine out of the energy of the ring. The movie Green Lantern also has this ability and creates imaginative constructs like swords, guns, and obvious Hot Wheels sponsorships. Perhaps the most enraging thing about this movie is the characters. Hal Jordan is a grade A jerk from start to finish with almost no redeeming or relatable qualities. He spends over half the movie running away from being a Green Lantern, doubting himself, and being afraid. One of the villains, Hector, is supposed to have a story that parallels Hal's. Instead, he comes off as a whiny defeatist with daddy issues. The other villain, Parallax, is supposed to be an ominous embodiment of fear. In this movie, though, he's an aimless blob traveling through the universe gobbling up planets and is stupid enough to be tricked into being pulled into the sun. Overall, it was safe, boring, and predictable. Everything a Green Lantern movie should not have been.
Number 4. Batman and Robin. Everyone knows why this is on here. Batman and Robin are challenged by Mr. Freeze, the newly poisoned Poison Ivy, and her personal thug, Bane, in a way too soon callback to the Adam West-style Caped Crusader. At this point, we had grown past this version of the character and wanted something a little more mature. We had gotten the Burton Batman movies, and while maybe too dark for some, they captured what Batman has come to be known as, a tortured soul out on a never-ending crusade against crime. Batman and Robin did a lot to stunt the growth of superhero movies. In fact, it was the death of them for a short while. But without it, would we have ever gotten the Nolan trilogy? Heck, would we have ever gotten the MCU? Without superhero movies bottoming out and audiences demanding better quality, we may still have been in those dark times. So you can both blame and thank Batman and Robin for this. Either way, it is an important film in the history of the current explosion of comic book movies. Since all the negative things about this film have been said many times over, I want to point out one aspect I actually kind of liked, that being the Alfred scenes. I've said it before, Alfred is one of my favorite Bat family members, and he's definitely the most important to Bruce's character. His subplot was a good one. when Alicia Silverstone wasn't there. In any case, time has been a lot kinder to Batman and Robin than one would think. It's fun to laugh at now that we have the security of knowing the character has been done justice on the big screen since. Number 3. Superman 3. Superman 3 is worse than 4. Yeah, I said it. Random genius computer programmer Gus Gorman is roped into a scheme by totally not Lex Luthor rich bad guy Ross Webster to, among other things, recreate Kryptonite and take down Superman. However, an unknown element in the compound is replaced with tar, and this version of Kryptonite affects Superman by turning him into a drunk. The attempts at comedy in this film make me want to puke. Director Richard Lester took over for Richard Donner to finish up Superman 2, and the studio stayed with him for the third installment. He basically turned everything serious from the first and part of the second film into an over 2-hour slapstick romp. Yes, the first two films had comedic and campy elements in them, and they blended pretty well, except for Lester's random additions to Superman 2, but for the most part, it's one of the reasons why I love them. They're unapologetically serious when they need to be, and light and fun when called for. Superman 3 is one big joke. Making Superman kind of evil was an interesting idea that's been done well since, but this was horrible. No one should ever see Superman getting drunk at a bar or about to have sex with not Miss Tessmacher. The junkyard fight with Clark and Bad Superman is kind of fun, but it just felt like a big waste of time in an overly long film. Also, what in the hell is up with the giant evil computer at the end? There's a legit disturbing scene when Webster's sister is forcibly turned into an evil computer robot. Where did that come from? There's not a single likable character in this whole movie. Superman 4 is almost as bad, but at least there are plenty of good, clean, weird moments of classic Reeve Superman. Plus, Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor is always a positive to see on screen with this Man of Steel.
Number 2.
Supergirl. The movie opens on Kara in her home of Argo City. Right away, Kara's character and behavior are odd. She acts like a small child, like she is seeing her city for the first time. Her uncle lets her play with a power source called the Omegahedron. She breaks the barrier keeping Argo City alive, and the orb flies into outer space.
Kara must travel to Earth to retrieve the powerful Omegahedron and save her home. On Earth, Selina the Witch has little more magical powers than a party trick until a mysterious orb comes into her possession. With the Omegahedron, she's able to cast actual spells and manipulate those around her, but her powers are incredibly inconsistent. Selina drugs and then casts an old-school love spell on Ethan that will make him fall in love with the first person he sees when he opens his eyes. When the roofies wear off... How do I make this sound less rapey? I can't. When the roofies wear off, Ethan somehow makes his way into town without seeing anyone, until, you guessed it, he's rescued by Supergirl and opens his eyes to her alter ego, Linda Lee. The most unforgivable part of this shoehorned romance is that Kara seems to reciprocate this total stranger declaring his love before even knowing her name.
The movie spent way too long focusing on this far-fetched love story when it was supposed to be a story about Supergirl. We rarely get to see Supergirl doing heroic stunts. Rather, we get her falling in love and going to school. That's what women want, right? A story about boys fitting in and making friends. Ugh. Although the movie did get a bit interesting when Selina sent Kara to the Phantom Zone. Wait, how does Selina know about the Phantom Zone? We got to see Kara struggle, grow, and learn about herself and her powers. Now, if only the rest of the movie were like this.
Squirt.
Okay, maybe not like that. And the number 1 worst DC movie is Catwoman. Patience Phillips, a timid graphics designer for a makeup corporation, accidentally stumbles upon the evil plans of her company. Their skincare causes severe reactions if you discontinue using it, but makes your skin youthful and impervious to damage with regular application. I get the ingenious evilness of loyal for life customers, but why would you give potential invincibility to the masses? So, Patience has obviously seen too much and must be taken care of by flushing her down the drains and somehow onto a clearing. where there are cats just chilling to breathe into her face, forever changing her into an Egyptian god that has possessed women throughout history. This half-baked exposition is explained by the local cat lady and convenient expert named Ophelia Powers. From her new powers, Patience has a sexual awakening, a newfound penchant for leather, and the ability to use a whip and other combat without any prior training. Side effects include acting like a literal cat.
Green, straight up.
After a quick makeover, she gymnastically crushes a diamond heist in progress, but soon realizes the real test for her self-confidence is to beat up her boss. I guess we're expected to believe this face cream is just caked on this lady's entire body because she withstands a lot of blows. Unfortunately for our evil genius, that super self she's been hawking isn't fall off the roof proof. Everything about this movie is bad. Ridiculous names and dialogue, unbelievably tropey characters, nauseating editing, and that costume. Honestly, I could go on about this film for an entire episode, but thankfully, there's already a great one conveniently on this channel.
We all agree that Catwoman is the worst DC movie, but is it worse than Marvel's #1 worst movie, Howard the Duck? Check out a new video on my personal channel where I address that question. Since I've been back, there are also plenty of new videos up on there, including Power Rangers unboxings, a Star Wars Rebels series finale review, the official Go Go Terminator music video, the complete Where's Walter saga, and much more.
We want to hear what you guys think.
What's your least favorite DC movie? What do you want to see us cover next on the show? Leave us a comment down below.
To keep in touch, you can like my Facebook page or follow along on Twitter.
And you can find me on Twitter at Heather Roos, Instagram at hroos, or Twitch, twitch.tv/Heather Roos.
And you can find me on Facebook as Aiyanna Wade or everywhere else as Awesome Aiyanna.
We'll catch you right back here next week for the best of DC on a brand new episode of Top 5. See you then.